Imagine waking up in a world where the first breath you take tastes of rust and ash, where the only light comes not from the sun, long forgotten, but from endless furnaces burning overhead, and where the worth of your life is measured not in years, not in deeds, but in how many bolts you can tighten before your body gives out. This is the forgotten life of a Hive City factory worker. Beneath the towering spires of the Imperium, beneath the cathedrals of wealth and power lies the machine that keeps it all alive. The endless labor of billions. Men and women who will never see the stars, who will never hear their names remembered, who will be consumed, broken, and discarded so that the Imperium of man may endure. Tonight, we descend into that world, into the choking heart of the Hive, and into the lives of those the galaxy has already forgotten. To understand the factory worker, you must first understand the Hive. A Hive city is not a city in the way we know cities. It is not a place of streets and neighborhoods. It is not a place of freedom. It is a machine, vast, alive, and merciless. Some hives stretch higher than mountains, wider than continents, their peaks piercing the sky while their roots dig deep into the earth's crust. Within them live billions, sometimes trillions of human souls. At the top, the spires, mansions, temples and palaces for the noble houses and the priests of the god emperor, bathed in artificial light, perfumed with imported incense, never touched by the filth below. And at the bottom, the sump. A black ocean of sewage, rot, and death. No one speaks of it, no one escapes it. But between these two extremes lies the factory level, the endless heart of production. Here, men and women work not for wages, not for pride, but because to stop working is to die. Imagine a city where every wall hums with the sound of machines, every hallway drips with oil, and every breath is laced with soot. This is the cradle and the grave of the factory worker. A day in the life of a Hive factory worker does not begin with a sunrise. There is no sun here. Time is measured only by the sirens, a shrill blast that rattles the metal bones of the Hive and commands all to rise. Workers sleep in stacked coffin beds, hundreds to a single dormitory chamber. The air is stale, the walls sweating with condensation. Privacy is a myth. Silence is impossible. You wake up. Your throat is dry, your stomach hollow. You dress in the same oil-stained rags as yesterday, as every day before. Perhaps you eat, if the ration clerk has not shorted you again. A lump of protein paste, recycled from biomass you would rather not think about. Then comes the march. Lines of bodies moving through corridors so vast and crowded they feel like veins in a living creature. You shuffle along, pressed shoulder to shoulder, stepping over the sick who collapse in the walkway. Guards do not stop for them. No one does. At the factory floor, the sound is overwhelming. Gears grinding, pistons slamming, sparks hissing. Imagine a space so large you cannot see its ceiling, where the air glows red with furnace light. Rows upon rows of workers man their stations, riveting, cutting, hammering, assembling, each one just a cog in the greater machine. Your task might be simple: turn a bolt, stamp a plate, carry slag from one end of the line to another, over and over, thousands of times, every day, for years. You do not choose your work. You inherit it. Your father worked this line before you. Your mother died here. Your children will too. And yet there are moments, a brief exchange of words with the worker beside you when the overseer's back is turned, a hidden glance, a smuggled sip of contraband recaf, little sparks of humanity, fragile, fleeting, the only rebellion left to you. But the Hive is merciless, and the factory worker is its fuel. Injuries are constant. A slip of the hand, and a cogwheel takes your fingers. A stumble, and you fall into the machinery, ground down before anyone can scream. There are no safety rails, no protections, only efficiency. The overseers carry shock whips and stub pistols. Their job is not to ensure your survival. It is to ensure the line never stops. Fall behind and the lash teaches you speed. Collapse from exhaustion and you are dragged aside. If you're lucky, you're replaced by another body. If not, your corpse is recycled into nutrient slurry for the living. Disease festers in the Hive. Coughs never heal. Lungs rot from the fumes. Eyes burn from the smoke. Children are born with crooked spines and stunted limbs, yet they are still sent to work as soon as they can lift a tool. And always, always there is hunger. The rations are never enough. Some workers sell their blood for a crust of bread, others steal from the dead. Still the line moves on. The Imperium demands its weapons, its armor, its ammunition, and so the factory worker endures, one day at a time. But step back. Look at the grand machine. Every laser gun fired on a battlefield, every shell loaded into a tank, every armor plate welded onto a ship. All of it comes from places like this. The Emperor's armies are fed by the suffering of the forgotten. Without them, the Imperium would starve. Without them, there would be no war, no conquest, no survival. And yet, in the official records, their names do not appear. A noble's triumph is sung in cathedrals. A general's sacrifice is carved into monuments. But the billions who built the weapons they used, who sweated and bled and died so that others might stand victorious, they vanish into silence. Think of it. How many lives does a single bolt shell cost? How many years of labor? How many broken backs? How many empty stomachs? And when it is fired, it is gone in an instant. Perhaps this is the cruelest truth of all. The factory worker knows they are nothing. They know their life will not change the galaxy. They know their death will not matter. And yet, they endure. Is this faith? The Emperor's light, keeping them alive? Or is it fear? Fear of punishment, fear of death, fear of meaninglessness. Or perhaps it is simply the human spirit, that fragile spark that refuses to die, even when buried beneath a mountain of ash. When you look into the life of a Hive City factory worker, you are not just looking into Warhammer's grim darkness. You are looking into us, into what humanity becomes when survival outweighs everything else. And so the story ends where it began. A worker rises from their coffin bed. The siren screams. The line begins again. They will never see the stars. They will never be remembered. But the machine will turn, because they turn it. This is the forgotten life of a Hive City factory worker,